Wrestling. What's going on, everyone? Sorry, we had quick technical difficulty there. John Alba here, hosting this edition of Wrestling Warm-Up here on WrestlingRumors.net. Now, right now, it's all me alone. We may have some guests coming in later. If not, that's okay. I can take you alone for an hour because, see, when I host Wrestling Warm-Up, things get a little different. It gets a little crazy here. You know, they call me the Ken doll for a reason because I like to keep things fresh. Well, I want to hear what you guys have to think. So whatever we talk about tonight, whether it's about Raw, Battleground, The Undertaker, whatever it is, tweet it at WrestleRumors, at John Alba, JONALBA. You see it right there underneath. There it is. Yeah, there we go. Or find us on Facebook as well at Wrestling Rumors, or just put it in the chat on WrestlingRumors.net. We'll talk about it. We'll have some fun. It'll be great. Doug McDonald, who normally hosts this program, unfortunately had a family. Our thoughts are with you, Doug, as you go on and take care of the issues that you need to. And now I'm joined by one of those guests rocking a Montreal Expos jersey. Look at that. Who is that? I can't see what number is that.
That's number 4.
Whose jersey is that?
MLB guy, let's go.
Number 4? Let's see. Number 4 Expos. It's not your dog.
Yeah, well, yeah, mid-90s.
Mid-90s. Mid-90s.
Hey.
We're talking post-Carter. We're talking like the Moisey Salute, like 94 Expos here.
Yep. I do have a Carter shirt, though, too.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Hey, if you got guesses in the chat, go ahead and throw it. We'll reveal it at the end of the show.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, if you got guesses to what jersey, no cheating, all right? Because I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to try to figure this one out here. That 94 Expos team would have been in the World Series had that season not been canceled. So
yeah,
I would have taken on the Yankees. Buck Showalter's Yankees, and the rest would be history. But, hey, we're not talking about baseball. We're talking about wrestling because Adam – Battleground last night, awesome show, which culminated with this big happening in the main event, and we're going to lead with that right now. Renee Young, about 15 minutes prior to us going on air here on WrestlingRumors.net, comes online and says The Undertaker is expected to kick off Monday Night Raw. Give me your thoughts to how last night unfolded. What are we going to have in store tonight?
You know, it's weird because Brock just went from being, I guess, the biggest babyface to, I guess, the biggest heel. I don't know, because now they're both booked as gray area characters in a way. I kind of like if they're going with a one-on-one. I'm torn what direction they're going to go with this. I don't know if it just seems like I don't know. I like that he's involved with SummerSlam. I think it's going to help sell. I think he's a draw regardless. I'd like to see Lesnar Taker too. It's just made the world title picture kind of complicated right now.
We got some Delano DeShields guesses out there, Adam.
There you go. There you go.
There you go, Delano DeShields. Nice job, everyone. Yeah, I got to tell you, there's a lot of people who were upset with how the main event went down last night. Not upset about The Undertaker appearing, but more so that it was an inconclusive finish. Need I remind you, as I pointed out last night, this is the second inconclusive finish out of 3 at Battleground. Is the second no contest. The first one was between Orton and Daniel Bryan when the Big Show came down and punched out both of them. This is the second time this happened at Battleground. Now, thankfully, this show was a lot better than that last one. Brock Lesnar's the biggest heel in the company, just like that. And I'm going to be at SummerSlam, and I can tell you that the whole crowd's going to be pro-Taker. I was at WrestleMania 30 when The Undertaker lost his streak to Lesnar, and it was one of the most genuine, shocking moments of my entire life. Outside of sports entertainment, inside sports entertainment, couldn't believe it. I don't know how this match is going to go over at SummerSlam, assuming that, I mean, that's what we're expecting tonight, that he's going to come out and he's going to challenge Lesnar at SummerSlam, or Lesnar will challenge him, regardless of what happens. The first match wasn't very good, but it was because Taker was concussed. What do you think?
I look at it this way. I was there at WrestleMania 30, you know, and there was just something special about that. It was that shocking, I can't believe I'm here. kind of moment. And you're not going to be able to recapture that. I don't care what kind of stage you put it on. I mean, it could be another WrestleMania. So we know that that's not going to happen again. I just don't know how, I know there's a lot of concern about how rough Lesnar is, especially with Taker and his age and things like that. I don't know. A lot of people from what I've seen just aren't really that interested in the match at all, which in a way I find surprising. But I don't know. It seems like odd timing. Like, why not interfere at WrestleMania, or why not? I don't know. It just seems like it was rushed to build SummerSlam up a little bit more.
Well, I have no problem because, I mean, SummerSlam has to be a mega draw. It has to be huge. It's going to be in New York City. They're making a huge weekend out of it. They need the subscribers as you got the quarter coming to an end. That's all important. Look, I don't care what people are saying, because we got some tweets last night that I couldn't believe I was reading. There is money in a Taker-Lesnar rematch. It's storytelling. It's long-term storytelling. If you can't put those two pieces together, get out. Just stop. Stop watching wrestling, because you're missing the whole point there. I don't know what the quality of the match is going to be. I hope it's a little more physical in terms of striking and not just. I mean, here's the thing. Lesnar wasn't doing his whole Suplex City act back at WrestleMania 30. So is he going to be suplexing Taker a lot? Is that where they're going to go? Here's what I don't want to see, Adam. I don't want to see Undertaker come out tonight and be like, yeah, the streak, it ended. And by the way, you took out my brother last week. I don't want to see that. If Kane is anything more than a footnote tonight, that's bad.
I think that's the other thing. And I think the kind of match that would work with Taker and Lesnar is if Taker was on the offensive, went with like a ground and pound and almost UFC style that Taker went with for a little while. That would make a very intriguing match with him and Lesnar. And then, everyone concerned about Suplex City, it kind of eliminates that and buffers that in some direction and slows that pacing down. So, I mean, I think that's one way that match could really work that people are forgetting about. But that's my other concern, is that right now I'm afraid that he's also – I thought last night he was actually going to go after both guys, and I thought there was going to be a double disqualification. It was going to be, I'm coming after you because of the streak, I'm coming after you because of my brother, and it was going to be a triple threat. And it doesn't make sense for SummerSlam, because then you would think that Rollins definitely walks out as champion.
Well, they still could do a triple threat match, Adam. I mean, I that's not the route that I'm going personally right now. They could still do a triple threat match because – keep in mind, Taker's got unfinished business with Rollins, too. The Shield took him out after WrestleMania 29. And that was the last time you saw him before the Lesnar feud. If you want to go all the way back, he does have unfinished business on that end. I don't want to see Taker in a title match, because it's not believable that he'd be in a title match, that he would hold the title going forward. I don't know what you do with Seth Rollins then. Did you have a problem with how last night ended?
No, I actually don't at all. I look at it this way, and this is the comparison I used with one of my friends today. I hated the way, and I don't know if everybody's going to get this reference, but the Walking Dead episode, and this isn't a spoiler alert, guys, the Walking Dead episode where Beth dies, listen, I hated the ending, but the episode was awesome. And it's like, again, it's that long-term storytelling of like every pay-per-view, consider that an episode in a season of whatever we watch, guys. So there's going to be cliffhanger endings, and I don't have a problem with the cliffhanger ending, especially going into the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. And when it's Undertaker, again, Undertaker, I think, supersedes any kind of finish. Like, when he comes in and interferes, business is done. I mean, he is the business. Business is done, and that's it.
And you saw that with the monster reaction that he got last night. It was everyone on social media was going crazy about it. We saw some videos from inside the arena. It was awesome. What I am worried about, though, is just people are going to think too much about this. It's long-term storytelling coming to its crescendo. And we've got some thoughts coming in on Twitter and in the chat room. And if you want to give us your thoughts on what to expect with this Taker-Lesnar 2 match that we're probably going to be getting at SummerSlam, throw it out there. Tweet at us at John Alba, at Adam Daly 13. Something?
Yep.
All right. Yes, got it. At Adam Daly 13, at Wrestle Rumors. Throw it in the chat on WrestlingRumors.net. We want to hear what you got to say. Ed says, do you think that the WWE title match, if they're not involved in it, takes a back seat to their match at SummerSlam, meaning this is the main event at SummerSlam. And yeah, I do think this is the main event at SummerSlam, unless The Rock comes out to face Seth Rollins for the WWE title. That's probably about it. What do you think?
Same thing. And because I think that, all right, John, let me get your opinion, because let's talk about this then. Who do we think that puts Rollins against? Kane? Because there's no way.
I don't know who it puts Rollins against. It gives you the out to do a quick Kane match, but there's no story there right now, because there was at one point, it seemed like we were going to get Rollins Kane, and then they made amends, and everything was happy and great.
Well, with him taking on Kane at the end of Raw last week, they could definitely build smoke off of that. But that's why would you use that at SummerSlam? I would think that would be a filler pay-per-view somewhere along the line. For me, that's not a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, unless you are doing Lesnar Taker, which is going to be your main event. So I think if your top match, if the main event top billing is Lesnar Taker, I think we do see Kane and Kane and Rollins. Wouldn't be surprised to see a mask maybe back on Kane. Or I don't know. I mean, that's the only logical other person I can think. I mean, what do you think, Alba?
I mean, they could do it. They could put him against Kane, and that could be it. They could throw him against Kane, and that could be the route that they go. But I'm not so sure that is where they're going to go, because I don't know. I don't. I can't think of another challenger. I can't think of another challenger, because you're not going to bring an NXT guy up there. You can't do that. You can't just throw Dean Ambrose back into the picture. That doesn't make any sense. You could throw Roman Reigns there, but Roman Reigns doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure where it's going to go. What do you think about maybe going a route of someone out of the blue?
Like, another one is Triple H. That's another, that it seems to be making its rounds. And I don't know right now if I would think that match would have more value if, and I know people aren't going to like this, but that match holds more value without the WWE Championship. That match will do more for Seth Rollins with no title involved.
Totally agree.
So I just don't see him facing Triple H until he drops the title. And now I don't. This whole Triple H match just seems.
I'll throw one name out there for you. Okay. Batista.
Oh.
There's no rumors or anything. There's no backing to that. I don't want anyone to think I'm starting something here.
Well,
let's think about it.
He's never gotten a rematch. Theoretically, again, long term from WrestleMania 30, he's never gotten a rematch.
Never got the rematch. The night that he quit, Rollins turned.
Mm-hmm.
He's against Triple H right now, in theory. Mm-hmm. He's not doing anything right now. He's not filming anything right now. He posted a picture recently of him training with a few other guys. It's the big summer showcase thing, and he'd come in as the babyface.
And the Shield is really what put him out, because it was the Shield Evolution feud that came along in his way. Imagine that surprise. Now, would this finally? Do you think that finally get Batista back in as a babyface like they originally wanted if he was going against Rollins?
I think he's the babyface against Rollins.
I like that we're fantasy. Do you realize if this comes to fruition and like we're the two random people that and you were like the brainchild behind a random just
You're welcome.
For the name, this is you made yourself a made man.
You're shipping me that Delano Shields jersey.
Yes, exactly.
And I'll one up you with a Tony Armas jersey too. But hey, that's okay. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this. I got one thought coming in here that Taker Lesnar should ultimately end up being a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam. What do you think?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think it would make. I guess you could do it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to see Taker in a Hell in a Cell match with Lesnar. Obviously they would protect him, and I don't want to say that's. I mean, disrespectful to even say they would protect the Undertaker. I mean, the man knows what he's doing, but it's just Lesnar sometimes I feel like doesn't know his own strength, and that cell's just rough. I would. Yeah. It'd be a great match, but again, I think the smarter bet for this match is Undertaker with a more slowed down pace, the ground and pound, and then going back to, Lesnar with the more strong physical style.
I'll tell you one gimmick match I'd be okay with seeing here. And I have a feeling that someone like Doug would disagree with this, but I'm going to throw this out there. How about a last man standing match between Lesnar and The Undertaker? A ton of mystique, obviously. The aura of The Undertaker is that he always rises. Lesnar was the one who supposedly put him away. Lesnar's a beast. I think that would be a great way to fit that stipulation in. And no one has to take a pinfall. No one has to submit.
I would be down with that. I'd be absolutely okay with basically a last man standing. Absolutely. Because then you can have Undertaker go outside the ring a little bit more and inflict more damage on Lesnar outside the ring on the announce tables.
Right, exactly. Exactly, and that kind of match at Undertaker's age now fits him. He works without his limitations there, and I think that's the way I would maybe go that way if they choose to go gimmick match. We've got some ideas here in the chat. Some people saying Orton will be the challenger and Sheamus cashes in after the match. On the 5-point preview, they teased that Orton and Sheamus are probably going to have another match at SummerSlam. So I don't know if that's the route they're going to go. Orton had his rematch already and lost. Do you see Sheamus cashing in at SummerSlam? It's fall season for WWE after SummerSlam. Keep that in mind, where everything goes to crap. And they can just throw stuff at the wall, and it really doesn't matter what happens because it all just builds towards the Rumble.
I was really thinking that he was going to hold on to the briefcase till about, I thought October, November-ish is when he was going to cash in. But at the same time, I thought the title was going to be off Rollins by SummerSlam. I thought that it would be gone. So the more that this goes, and we really don't know what's going on with Rollins, because there's no real set storyline for him now. And I guess we'll find out more tonight, but it just makes it odd that we have no idea who's going to, not even a clue who's going to face your World Heavyweight Champion. So it does make the cash in a little more likely. Does it happen? Maybe Night of Champions, maybe. I think at the latest Night of Champions, we'll say that. I'm 50-50 on it.
Some people throwing out a casket match. I don't want to see a casket match between Lesnar and Taker. That's definitely not the route that I want to go. Inferno match, I saw. No. Anyway, you're watching Wrestling Warm Up here on WrestlingRumors.net. John Alba hosting today at John Alba on Twitter, joined by Adam Daly at AdamDaly13 on Twitter. You can join us here in the chat on WrestlingRumors.net, on Twitter at WrestleRumors, or on Facebook at Wrestling Rumors as well. Let's talk about Battleground. Pretty good show all the way around. Doug called it an A+ show. I don't agree with that. I don't think it was an A+ show. I'd say maybe an A-, which is nothing to be upset about. I thought every match pretty much held up. There were a couple things that I would have done maybe a little differently. But overall, really good show. We'll start with we're not going to talk about the Barrett R-Truth stuff. There's nothing going on there. We'll go past that. Let's start with Orton Sheamus. Good match, physical from these guys. We've seen it a million times, but they never really put on a dud.
No, yeah, it was good. And for me, I think the hometown crowd really helped this out too. This was a smart match to start the pay-per-view, get the hometown crowd fired up with the hometown boy. And I think this was one of their better matches too, to be honest. I mean, I know we've seen them a million times too, but I felt like there was something. And I do think the crowd helped with that. But it was a good match to start with, and it was much better than what I expected.
Let's go on to the Tag Team Championships, Adam. The New Day lose, much to the surprise of many. Primetime players, looks like they're sticking with them. And moreover, finally, it finally seems like they realize that they've got something in Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, and they should have realized that a long time ago too. His charisma is off the charts. I mean, off the charts. So they should have been utilizing him a lot more anyway. What do you see going on with the tag team titles now, though? I mean, do you see another New Day feud? Do we maybe see like a fatal 4-way?
And that's kind of what I was throwing last night. You can't do the New Day after having 2 clean losses in a row. You just can't unless they pester and pester and pester. But there's no probable heel team. The two other heel teams that you have are Los Matadors and the Ascension. And you're not bringing up an NXT tag team. You're not bringing up Blake and Murphy to take on primetime players. So I'm not sure. I think the only thing that you can do is a multi-team match at SummerSlam at this point. I mean, and that's good for the New York crowd, don't you think?
I do too. Now, let me ask this question, especially with NXT being the night before. Let me throw just a random name out to you. And I know everyone's going to grimace at this, but what if this is where we start to see an Ascension versus PTP feud? And I know nobody likes the Ascension, and I know, but it's one of those where until they're really proven wrong, are they going to keep trying to force them? And is this a stage where they're going to force them down our throats?
I don't know. There's no substance there though.
At all. There's none. There's none. But it just, even when they brought him in though for they just randomly brought him back for the Elimination Chamber and things like that. They were putting him in over in matches, and then he just disappeared again. It just seems like they at one point want to showcase them somehow, and I don't know. Now that Harper and Rowan are split up, and well, not split up, just Harper's hurt, but
Rowan's hurt, yeah,
or Rowan's hurt. I'm sorry, yeah. I don't know who. I just can't think of anybody else. I don't know.
I'd say SummerSlam, just do a fun match. You're not going to get a whole lot out of it. I'm not really sure because I do think that, down the road, and we'll lead into this with our next topic, that there is potential for the Wyatts to pick something up, but I don't think right now that's the case. And I would have kept it with the New Day, but I guess that's not where they want to go. So it is what it is. Let's talk about the Wyatts. Luke Harper's back with Bray Wyatt. That's pretty cool. The Wyatts are back together. I would have never split them in the first place, but they're back together now. Last night, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, that started a little slow, but really picked up, and their ground and pound styles, I thought, meshed together very well. What do you think of that match?
Yeah, I like that. I didn't, and see, that's the thing, though. I didn't think there was a bad match on the card last night. I enjoyed, and regardless of whether I like the outcome or not, I really did enjoy every match on the card. Well, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a great match. I thought there was that sick reversal that Wyatt did on Reigns towards the end of the match. Probably the way I would have booked it if Reigns was going to lose. And we can move this into the 5-point preview. They're saying Harper and Wyatt are back together now. Reigns has got the odds stacked against him heading into SummerSlam that he can barely beat one Wyatt. He can't beat one Wyatt. Now he's going to have to go against two. Clearly, this is setting up for someone to join Roman Reigns, and I think if we can put 2 and 2 together here, that's probably going to be Sting.
Yeah, and you know what? I never thought I'd be saying this, and this is something that that we all should really pay attention to. I in a way would rather see Wyatt Reigns again. I thought
really
I thought that they had something special going on where they both looked really, really good, and that's why it was just like I didn't really know how to describe it. That's why I was just like I really liked it. Because I don't know. There's just it seems like
that's interesting to me.
Yeah, they have something.
I'm all for throwing Sting into this equation. Right. All for it. I think that this is a major, major way to get Sting a win in WWE, to get Roman Reigns a good win, to get him the proverbial rub from a legend like Sting, to get Sting in front of the New York City crowd. I just and it's a great way to get Wyatt a loss too, because the mantras of Sting and Wyatt are going to work fantastic together. I think that's going to be awesome. The reports came out that this was at one point supposed to be a 6-man tag. Had Rowan not gotten hurt, that it was going to be Rowan, Harper, and Wyatt versus Sting, Reigns, and Ambrose. Ambrose is out of the equation right now. Do they stick another guy with the Wyatts at him to get Ambrose back into that equation? What do you think?
Oh, I wouldn't think so. Only because it wouldn't make sense. If it was the family together, then
maybe this is a new family member.
Ooh, Sheamus is gonna shave his head and just and be double booked every night. He can go. Right. He can be Roman and Sheamus. No, Yeah, I mean I would be very open because I'm with you. I don't think they ever should have split the Wyatts up. I would be open to a new member, and would it be interesting if it was repackaged Bo Dallas?
Repackaged Bo Dallas would be interesting. There's some people in the chat saying, isn't it more obvious that it's going to be Ambrose and Reigns versus Wyatt and Harper? If Sting's not wrestling, then yes, then that's what it's going to be. But all indications are that Sting is going to be there, and there's no one else that he's facing outside this because I can't figure out anywhere else that he would be put. He ain't facing Cena for the U.S. title. I'll put it that way. So that's the only way. If Sting's going to be there, that's where he's going to be.
And Bray's been teasing this. I think he did an interview with Michael Cole on WWE.com, and I think you could start to hear like little Sting stuff in the background. Or there was something with it where there
was a crow last night in the promo.
Yeah, they're teasing it, so Sting's going to be involved with Bray somehow. So I think they're just going to keep it the four of them. I really do, unless there is a new member, and then I would be very intrigued though, on who the new member would be. But I think it stays 4-4, or 2-2.
2-2. Let us know what you guys think. Tweet at us at John Alba, at Adam Daly 13, at Wrestle Rumors. Throw it in the chat on WrestlingRumors.net or on Facebook. Just search WrestlingRumors.net. And we're going to get to some of your comments in a little bit. I've gotten a ton of tweets and a ton of comments. I promise we're going to get to those in just a little bit. But let us know what you think. You think Sting's going to get involved in this? Now let's take a question here. What do you think Cena does with the belt at SummerSlam? Can he continue the Open Challenge now with a light mid-card roster? Okay. I think Kevin Owens is gonna finally answer the Open Challenge tonight, by the way. Because every time Owens has come out for the Open Challenge, he hasn't actually fought for it. I think tonight he fights for it, and he might win it. What do you think?
I think it's still they're doing something. It's either going to be Owens Cena again, or they're going to do the triple threat, with Cesaro tossed in there. So I think this is where I don't right now. I don't even know if it's the mid card might be a little depleted, yes, but when you're starting to pick up guys like Owens and it's really elevating Cesaro. In a way, you don't want to take that title off of him until it's to a guy like Owens or Cesaro. And let's face it, Owens, and I know people aren't going to like this either, Owens at this point, I don't even think needs United States Championship. I think we just want him to have it, just to say he has it. I think he's made such a name for himself already that he could get past this feud and still move on to bigger and better things, different storylines.
I mean, that match last night was incredible. It was the best of all of them. And There's a lot of people who didn't like him tapping. I probably would not have made him tap, but again, you're tapping to a 15-time world champion when all's said and done. You're not tapping a Ryback. It's people say, LOL, Cena wins. It's the same thing over and over again. Look at the feud these guys just had. It was incredible. Their matches were outstanding. Maybe the 3 best matches John Cena has had in the last 5 years. At least going back to Money in the Bank 2011 with Punk and that Raw on Punk, which I thought these matches were all better than that Raw match with Punk.
Absolutely. This is the hottest feud Cena's had since Punk. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that everybody always puts it on. Well, it's because of Cena. It's because of Cena. It's just, and I've said this before, Cena just needs the right guy to tango with. And Kevin Owens is the right guy to tango with. And he definitely brings the best out of Cena, and Cena definitely brings the best out of him. And at this point, it's just one of those where I think the open invitation, I think, has really done a lot for a lot of the mid-card talent, whether it's elevated them but regardless, they've always looked better in the ring with Cena. That is what I'll say about a lot of, giving credit where credit is due. A lot of these guys have looked better with Cena, but some of these guys are just plain good, like Cesaro, like Owens, and we're finally getting to see that because of this. So I actually wouldn't be opposed. I can't believe I'm saying this, to seeing Cena just keep the title and keep running this. But I do want Cesaro or Owens to eventually take it off him.
We got a comment here in the chat, or on Twitter rather. Big Show, the new Wyatt family member, he turned face last night, so that means he'll be healed by SummerSlam. First off, Big Show didn't turn face last night. All right, that was just their way of just keeping the two on the show. It was a funny little moment. He didn't open his mouth, just literally came in, knocked out, arrive, KO, punch, leave. That was it. It worked. It was funny. The Miz is doing awesome mic work, maybe the best mic work he's done in his entire career right now. It's great stuff. We'll see what happens with the Intercontinental title picture. I'm sure we'll finally get that match at SummerSlam as long as Ryback is healthy. Continuing with the card last night, we had the Divas match. A lot of people, Adam, very excited about this match. I thought it was very good. I did not think it was an amazing match. I think they were a little excited, the crowd, to jumping the gun with the whole "this is awesome" thing. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver was awesome. Last night was a good match. I think the thing was, it was such a step up from what we'd gotten with the Divas in the past that people were so excited. I thought Brie Bella was perfect in this match. She served the role that she needed to. I liked the spot with the kicks, the Daniel Bryan illusion that she did. I thought that was great. Sasha Banks looked awesome. Charlotte looked even better. It was good stuff all around. What do you think?
I loved it. And you know what? I'll agree with you. I do. I don't think this is obviously one of those. I thought it was a very good match. But here's why I do like that they were chanting "this is awesome," because they always say that, well, they'll listen to the crowd. They listen to the crowd. So they finally have a live crowd.
But Vince McMahon always says, or allegedly says, he doesn't care about the "this is awesome" chant, that it only matters if the crowd is chanting your name, because that shows that you have gone over with the crowd.
So all the woos would
say "this is awesome." People will say "this is awesome" at anything.
So then all the woos would have, all the woos that
that's
people
good. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
All the like a boss stuff that was going on was,
Absolutely. People can be chanting "this is awesome" as they should be at our show right now. Because you know what? It freaking is awesome. All right? I mean, I just got back from Newark Airport, rushed home, shaved. I shaved. I was Ed Call, who's in the chat, JBL's Dragon, he came to my band show the other day. I wasn't shaved. I had a full beard going on. I shaved for you guys. I got to look good. Got to look professional. Adam, he's like, I'm rugged. I'm Delano DeShields. It doesn't matter for him.
Well, I know. See, here's the I guess the nice thing that I have going for me. I know nobody's watching for me. They're watching for Sam. So I could just come out here like I could really just come in a black T-shirt every week, and it really doesn't matter.
You can look like what Harper did last night on the show, and no one, you could say it's Sam, and then that'd be it.
We could get a cardboard cutout of me just sitting here, pretend, and I'll just talk behind it, and people wouldn't even notice the difference. So that's I guess the nice part about my job.
Again, relevant again. I liked what the Divas did. What do you think? What kind of match do you think we're getting for SummerSlam if you had to pick?
If I had to pick, man.
The title's got to be on the line.
Title's got to be on the line. I think maybe we see – do you think – and I know this is crazy. I was just thinking about this last night, though. Do you think over the next couple Raws we might see the same thing where a diva from each team wrestles again, one that didn't wrestle last night, and each winner from said bout in a series, so to speak, ends up in a fatal four-way or triple threat. Yeah, fatal four-way for the title.
That'd be interesting. I think we're going to get Becky Lynch tonight wrestling for the first time, which is good. I think they should do that again. They might do a triple threat tonight with some of the guys that didn't wrestle last night. And that's okay. They can do that, and it might work. I like your idea of a little series there. I put this joke in our chat last night. If Sasha Banks is beautiful and Tamina is dangerous, does that make Naomi and? It might. I'm not sure if they're going for an acronym there or not, but it seems a little weird to me. but hey, I'm cool with it. And I think things are going in the right direction for the Divas division. There were reports that they thought about letting Brie win last night. That wouldn't have been a good idea.
No.
So it's good that she took the fall last night, and that's what we ended up getting.
Can we just say real quick too how great Sasha Banks is? I mean, not only she gets it. I mean, her psychology is fantastic. I mean, every aspect of it's of being a character, of being that figure, that larger than life. She gets it, man. I mean, now, I would put the title on her right now. I would skip over everybody else.
Well, I'm curious to see if she's going to be in action at NXT Takeover. Pardon me here as I fix my computer. I'm curious to see if she's going to be in action at NXT Takeover. We're still not sure where they're going with that yet. Bayley is going to be in the equation. You figure they may end up doing something with them. She's awesome, and she's got a dirty finisher. The bank statement is awesome. It really is just great. But you know what the thing with the Divas is, Adam? These girls can go. We know that. But the booking has to be there. There has to be interesting feuds. There has to be reason for people to invest into the characters. So I hope that is the route in which they end up going with this, where they're going to invest time into these characters, where people will get behind them. And it's not just a good gimmick. You care about how they got there, why they got there. That's why people love those takeover matches so much. Not just because the woman put on great matches, but because there's a story behind each one. And there was just tremendous storytelling with the Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks one at the last TakeOver special. Tremendous storytelling. Start to finish, tremendous psychology in the ring. That's what you need to invest in here.
And they need to make it like it was when Lita and Trish were around. We cared.
Absolutely.
And we cared because the rivalry was amazing. And, and that's, I hope they go back to that. I hope that they see that there is money, with that. I hope that they don't look at this as a one-time, let's get everybody up and everybody hyped up, and then we're going to completely go back to the old way of things. I hope this truly is a revolution like they keep talking about.
And, you said something there about Trish and Lita, but there was still a lot of sex about that. A lot of it was about sex. And they were awesome competitors, and people loved them. But let's be reasonable here. Trish got over in the beginning because she was hot. And she ended up becoming a great female competitor. But she got over because she was hot. And, I mean, these are obviously gorgeous women that they're bringing in. But you need to make people care about them for their stories. And I really think that's where you have a chance to roll with here. And I'm excited, Adam, because I do think that, something can be made of this. Going back to the chat, some comments here. Fandango is the new Wyatt family member. That's an interesting suggestion there. Yeah, we can see what's going on in the chat, guys. It's just hard because every time I try to scroll, you guys type something and it goes all the way to the bottom. So it is unfortunately a little hard to see. Some other comments here. What's happened to Emma? Well, yeah, that didn't happen. Baron Corbin would be a nice addition to the Wyatt family. Well, he's not ready quite yet. He's green as grass, but he's got the and I'll if anyone wants to discuss this, feel free to. I think Baron Corbin's got the filthiest finisher in all of WWE and NXT right now. End of Days is beastly. Beastly. Anywho, let's keep going here. We will scroll through the Twitter feed, and let's see here. How long will Lesnar be on the hashtag the outskirts of the WWE title picture? Let's see what you did there. That's pretty cool. What do you think? You think Lesnar's going to get back into the WWE title picture at any point, Adam?
At this point, no, because I think his matches are going to be more about the attraction than the title. And again, do we want the title back on him? I think they learned from their mistake last year. I think it was great. Looking back, I don't know if it was a mistake. I think at the time, a lot of us were complaining, but I think in hindsight, it did make the WWE Championship a little bit more valuable. Now, people are going to debate that and say that Seth Rollins has devalued that, but that's the type of heel that he is. So I think that they know the importance of keeping the title on the show. That's why I can't see them putting him, maybe in a title match again, but he won't have the strap title. I'm sorry.
Another comment. Kill Adam Rose. Bring back Leo Kruger as the third Wyatt member.
Ooh.
Well, there's a reason he didn't make the main roster as Leo Kruger. I'll put it that way. I didn't hate Leo Kruger. But there was a reason he didn't make the same.
I'll be honest. In theory, I do like the idea. If they never would have flipped into Adam Rose, I would be down with that because I love Leo Kruger. Adam Rose.
He can go. He can wrestle.
I love him. Yeah.
He can wrestle. He's a quality competitor.
Yeah, they won't do it, but they won't. But I'll tell you one thing, that it would be cool, but they wouldn't do it. If I was booking, I'd do it. So whoever said that, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out here. Some people want Enzo and Cass to compete for the WWE Tag Team Championships, but primetime players are face, so I would not count on that because Enzo and Cass, if they made the main roster in New York City, would be maybe the most over guys in the building that night. Just saying. I can spell that out for you if you need me to. All right.
I know it's something that you can't teach that.
Can't teach that. Carmella, she's hot as hell, man. Hot as hell. Someone says, Sandow, new member to join the Wyatt family. Well, it'd give him something to do.
Yeah.
They screwed that one up, I'll tell you that.
Play Damian Wyatt now.
No thanks. I'm totally okay with that not happening. Yeah, guys, you know, I mean, Raw tonight should be a pretty solid show. It's exciting. A comment on Batista. Wow, Batista in New York City. You really think he'd get over as a babyface? If you keep booking Rollins like a cowardly heel, yeah. And if you book him against the Authority and against Triple H, yeah. That's how you get him over as a babyface.
And the one thing that I'll say too is that a lot of people that are big Seth Rollins supporters are starting to complain about Seth Rollins, you know, and that's the one thing that when you know, because I'll never forget. I talk with my friends like a fan. I'm a fan first, always, you know, but it's funny how many of my friends, or you look online or you see on social media, how many people that are so pro Rollins, especially when he won the title, you know, and it wasn't because it wasn't Roman Reigns. It was just because they were big ROH guys with Tyler Black, and you know how that, you know, we all are with the IWC stuff. But now you're seeing a lot of people start to get really tired. But at the same time, he's doing his job. That's how you know he's working, and that's how you know he's one hell of a heel.
I think Seth Rollins has been amazing. I think that Seth Rollins is made of money right now. And
absolutely,
if anyone denies that, you're out of your mind. How far this guy has come in a year is incredible. Yeah, I think a lot of us were very surprised at first when he was the guy to be given the reins as, okay, you're going to be the one who's going to turn heel. You're going to be aligned with the Golden Boy Triple H. But it's worked. And he's been amazing.
And one thing I'll add too is think about it this way. That entire time he was, you know, Mr. Money in the Bank, there was no WWE champion on television.
Very true.
So he really had to build his character a lot differently. He really had to pick his spot, and we knew that, and that's, you know, the whole gimmick of Mr. Money in the Bank. But when the champion's never around, and it's not like, you know, yes, Mr. Money in the Bank helped him and helped develop that character, but at the same time, there was more eyes on him because there was no champion. People know that he's probably the next champion, so he's already getting looked at under a heavy microscope, even before he has the championship. So I think if you really look back into, even back to like Survivor Series last year, I mean, Royal Rumble, everybody knew that he was, if you didn't know at the Royal Rumble in that triple threat match that Seth Rollins is a main eventer now, and this man is going to make them, I don't care, babyface, heel, whatever you want to put him, he's going to make them a lot of money.
I was there for that match at the Royal Rumble. I've been to a lot of shows. I've seen a lot of great matches. I saw Del Rio Punk at Madison Square Garden, which was an amazing match. I saw WrestleMania 30, Bryan and Triple H, which was an amazing match. That triple threat match was the best match I've ever seen on any form of wrestling in person. Between any independent show I've been to, anything. The best I've ever seen. And Seth Rollins played a huge part in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge part in that. And I think anyone who just, you know, wants to throw it to the side is out of their mind. And there are people there. Someone says Rollins Triple H at SummerSlam, where when Triple H loses, Sheamus becomes Plan B. My only question with that is, how do you get to that? How do you get to Triple H and Rollins? You can say, oh, you threw Lesnar at me and he hurt me up. You know, he made me real bad, but that's not how Rollins is going to come out tonight. Rollins is going to come out saying, you know what? I left Battleground WWE champion. That's how Seth Rollins is going to react tonight.
I think that would work if Rollins would have got a pinfall. I mean, with the interference, if Rollins would have got a pinfall and would have had leverage to say, I beat Brock Lesnar, I pinned Brock Lesnar, then I could have seen that. Then I would have been more leaning towards the Triple H match. I think I really would have, because then that's how you get under Triple H's skin. But without that happening, I can't see it happening.
I don't think he cares that he didn't win. He left. He left with the belt. And I think that's how you make a great heel, because he's gonna be like, hey, whatever, I'm still champ.
Right. Just from a Triple H booking standpoint, that would be something that would, I guess, enrage Triple H. The fact that he couldn't beat The Undertaker, but Seth Rollins beat the one who beat the one. Like Walter and I were talking about this yesterday. It would just be one of those that he could just throw out there in Triple H's face, and then I could see maybe the feud really heating up then. But now it's just more.
Triple H had a win against Lesnar.
Yeah.
Triple H beat Lesnar at WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, lots changed since then, though. That's the they weren't.
Brock Lesnar hasn't lost a match since that night.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for that too. He should have went over, and I was there for that. Except they billed it as a retirement match, and this was pre-authority, so you knew it wasn't happening. Right. It was incredibly obvious. You're watching Wrestling Warm Up here on WrestlingRumors.net. John Alba, Adam Daly here. We are talking Monday Night Raw, reviewing Battleground. It's been a lot of fun thus far. You probably tune in every week. Doug McDonald runs it. As I said in the beginning of the show, Doug had a family emergency to deal with. Our thoughts are with you, my man. And, hey, it's nice to be chatting wrestling with not just you, Adam, but with all these guys out there, because we have all of our loyal Wrestling Rumors fans who come on out in droves just to see what we have to say for some reason. And to see, the cool thing is, after this, because there was a "This is awesome" chant in the chat, I kind of egged that one on. It's going to get even more awesome, because after Raw, Adam, who just disappeared for some reason, I believe your camera's frozen. You see that little icon there? Well, I'll show you guys. You see that picture that you're seeing of Adam? Adam and Sam Daly. They're going to bring it home for you on the Monday Night Review show. And they review Raw every single night that it airs. They review every pay-per-view. They throw up videos throughout the week. Now I'm talking. Yeah, he's back. Plugging all your reviews. You guys just pump them out every night, man. How do you do it?
Thank you. I don't know. It's crazy, and I know it's funny, guys. I know a lot of times I stutter out, flip things around, but it's the first time I've really been in entertainment other than like a little small podcast here or there, and just going to a live show. It's try to take as many notes as possible, try to limit as much, but that's why we kind of just go on the fly. We don't really have anything. It's straight improv. So that's why there's a lot of comedy mixed in too. And it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit different.
You mean it's not scripted like that fake wrestling crap?
Not like, no, exactly.
Not scripted. Some people throwing out Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's got to happen at some point. But right now, Brock Lesnar's a heel.
Just like that.
And that's like that.
That's the crazy thing, is just like that, he went from being the biggest baby face to now he's probably going to be the biggest heel. And granted, he's that character that doesn't change. He's just Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman is just Paul Heyman. But perception of reality and perception of how the fans are going to react now, it's going to be all pro Taker.
I'll tell you what. After he has his thing with Taker, whatever happens at SummerSlam. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not confident Taker's going to beat Lesnar at SummerSlam. In long-term storytelling, there's two ways you could go with it. You could say, okay, Taker gets his match back, and that's it. That's how you do it, and then Taker has a different match at WrestleMania. Or he could lose again. Taker's never beaten Brock Lesnar in a straight-up match before by pinfall or submission. He loses again at SummerSlam and beats him at WrestleMania 32. You could do that. But let's say this is the end of Taker-Lesnar. Next time I want to see Lesnar's the Royal Rumble, I want to see him in the Royal Rumble match. Because if Lesnar wins the Rumble, that's a big draw. If Lesnar enters the Rumble, then the guy who eliminates Lesnar becomes made like that. What do you think about that?
I like that idea better because that's, I think then that's exactly how you set up Lesnar for WrestleMania. So there's no guessing. There's no throw him in the Rumble. Don't put him in a one-on-one match. I'd like to see him wrestle with Survivor Series in another maybe one-on-one match against somebody, and then come back out have him in the Royal Rumble. But I like exactly what you said. That's how I book it.
Would you do 3 matches between these guys, or would you end it at SummerSlam?
I think this needs to end because I don't. Does anybody want to really see this? I guess drug out into a best of 3. Now, here's the
thing. I don't think it would be a best of 3 if Taker wins at SummerSlam. I don't think it's a best of 3. I think it's 3 matches, but not a best of 3.
Let me see. I would almost think that I would think that if it was Lesnar Taker beats Lesnar, you would almost think that it would be Lesnar Taker at WrestleMania again, and it's a retirement
I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't see any incentive for Taker to take a match. For Taker to take a match with Lesnar at that point if he beats him. And PJ in the chat saying they've had a bunch of matches. Yes, I know they've had a bunch of matches, but Taker has never beaten Brock Lesnar by pinfall or submission. He never has. He beat him by countout one time. And I would like to see WWE delve into that story. Maybe tonight, that's what we get with The Undertaker. But you see, we're going back to the previous point, Adam. I think if Taker wins, that's it between these guys. I don't see any incentive for them to have to go to a third. Now, Lesnar could get pissed off or something. He goes, I want the demi again. And they could go that traditional route. I think we're more likely to get a third if Taker loses this one. And then WrestleMania, Paul Heyman says, we're putting Taker out to pasture. This is it.
And then would you give Taker the win?
At Mania, at that point, maybe. Or you could go the route, again, Taker wins SummerSlam. We're putting Taker out to pasture in a retirement match at 32. But I don't want to see that.
No.
I don't want to see Brock Lesnar retire The Undertaker.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's why I'll admit, I as much as I like that they're going back, and I like that Undertaker is coming in for SummerSlam, this leaves so many questions, on where they're going to go with this, because if this is just a one-off, what is it? And I mean, it's not going to do anything for Lesnar's momentum. I mean, he's a beast. It's not like there's going to be a lack of momentum behind him. But does that potentially maybe put Lesnar, away for another? Because I thought his new contract, he signed more dates this time.
He did. He signed more dates, and it was more put on the fact of when WWE needs him, they can use him. But gotcha. I mean, that doesn't mean we're going to use you every month. But it means, like in this case, how they brought him back for Battleground. If you need him, we're going to use him.
Gotcha. Okay.
People think this is a foregone conclusion that we're getting Taker Sting at Mania. I don't think so. I got to be honest with you. If I had to bet right now, let's assume that Hulk Hogan doesn't wrestle at WrestleMania 32, because I'm still not convinced that's happening either. John Cena versus The Undertaker's my match. And it's instigated by Cena. Dead man, I want to do it. I want to face you. We got to do this. I do it.
Think of the money, and I know a lot of people are going to say no.
Because who's winning that? Can you tell me definitively who's winning that right now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because again, like who would you put over?
I mean, it depends. If it's Taker's last match, I'd have to think about that, But and people say, oh, well, this match would have been better with a streak on the line. Yeah, obviously it would have been, but I still think this is a great match that I'm not sold on who would win.
No. I mean, and I think it would be a toss-up going in just because we're going to do this every WrestleMania now, guys. It's one of those where it's just, we're always going to do it. Is this Taker's last Mania? Is this Taker's last Mania? And it's in a way, it's kind of messed up to do, because he probably can go for maybe like 5 more years and we'll keep going. Is this it? Is this it? Myself included. So it's not like I'm like throwing stones here, but I don't know. It's one of those where we've never seen Cena Taker at Mania, and whether we want to or not, it hasn't been done. It would be an enormous draw. And I think if Hulk Hogan isn't wrestling, because I do think if Hogan wrestles, he's going to be involved with Cena somehow. What else do you do with John Cena?
I don't know. And I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll still be U.S. champion at the time. I don't know. Someone posts in the chat every time that Lesnar has faced off with The Undertaker. And apparently I've been proven wrong that The Undertaker pinned Lesnar in a triple threat match with The Big Show one time. I don't recall that happening, but apparently it did happen. I doubt WWE would venge back into that, but apparently it did. Gotta love the IWC, baby. But Brock Lesnar is face now. We get the comment from Timothy Kevin Crouch Jr. No, he's not. The Undertaker's the face in this match. There's no getting around that. And with all due respect, it's not. What if between now and SummerSlam, Rollins loses the belt on Raw, blames Triple H setting up the match with no title? Sheamus would have to cash in. He's not going to give him a title match just out of the blue on Raw, in my opinion. So maybe that's a route you go, but I wouldn't anticipate that to be what ends up happening ultimately. Mike Venley says, still don't get where you figure Batista in the title picture. Again, this is not something I'm saying is going to happen. It was, as I said, it was a wild card here. Batista never got his rematch. He's pissed off at Triple H and the Authority. He quit the same night Seth Rollins turned into the Golden Boy. That's all you need. That is all you need. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just fantasy booking, just trying to pull out names, because other than Kane, we're at a loss on who to put him up against. So, the short list now that we came up was what? Kane, Orton, and Batista and Triple H.
Batista, yeah.
It's either Kane or Evolution, I guess, is basically what we're looking at.
Sure does seem that way.
Toss Flair in there. Maybe he'll come out of retirement for a match.
Any final thoughts from you tonight heading into Raw? Any predictions for us?
Sorry about that. No, I think, you know what? The one thing I'll say is this, and I'll admit, I'm a big-time card-carrying member of the IWC. So I'm right there with a lot of the comments coming in. I get it. But the one thing I'll say is this. A lot of my friends were kind of complaining about the pay-per-view last night, and their only gripe was the results. And I was like, yeah, but every match was so good. And they're like, well, it's just, but this person didn't win, this person didn't win. Just let tonight happen. Just let's quit being as cynical as we are, because I don't know. And granted, we don't know what's going on, but I'm having a lot more fun with wrestling this year being wrong every single show that I do than being absolutely right on every pay-per-view. Last year when I was predicting them, it was so simplistic, and it was just saccharine, and it was just easy for everybody to just digest.
Well, we haven't gotten to the fall season yet, Adam. Easy. We haven't gotten to fall yet.
Yeah, that's true. But right now, I mean, there's so many different things that are being tossed around. Yeah, it's you could say it's annoying, but it's fun. This is what it's supposed to be about, is like this is comic books, guys. This is just about what's going to happen. Like, just let's not be as cynical, because I thought last night was a hell of a show.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Adam. I thought last night was a great show too. Again, A+ show, no. Very rarely do we ever get an A+ show in wrestling where every single match is just amazing and the booking is perfect and everything. But a solid A-, maybe even an A. It was really good. I anticipate Raw to be pretty good tonight. Do we get Sting tonight? Hopefully. They could wait a few weeks for Sting and just have Reigns get beat down, and then bang, out of nowhere. That's where Sting comes into the picture. Might it be Ambrose? It might be. Expect to get Rusev and Ziggler development coming up soon. I'm sure we'll see some of that. John Cena, I'll stick with my gut and says Owens answers the U.S. Open challenge. That's my guess. Maybe Cesaro gets thrown back into it. Who knows? You've watched Wrestling Warm Up here on WrestlingRumors.net. Thanks so much for tuning in. It was a little bit of a different episode tonight, but hopefully Adam and I entertain you, or sports entertained you enough on this evening. Don't forget, you can check out Adam on Twitter at AdamDaily13. And after Raw, he's going to be doing his review show with his lovely wife, Sam. And then after that, you'll get Wrestle Reaction on WrestleReaction.net with good old Frank McManzo. For those of you who don't know that story, ask him about Frank McManzo later tonight in the chat. He'll have some good stuff to tell you. WrestlingRumors.net is taking over SummerSlam weekend. Myself, Doug, and Frank are going to be at NXT TakeOver at SummerSlam. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned for some cool little meetups that we'll be doing. It's going to be sick. You guys are not going to want to miss out on that. Follow me on Twitter at John Alba, JONALBA. I'm clean shaven. I just released a rock album. It's awesome. I promise. Check it out. Bobby Mahoney and the Seventh Son at Seventh Son Band on Twitter. Ed Call can back me up here on that one. You've all entered the Alba Asylum tonight, and you survived. Congratulations. Round of applause to you. Follow us on Twitter at WrestleRumors, online at WrestlingRumors.net, and on Facebook at Wrestling Rumors. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.